some water here?
Yes, sir.
I was about to drink this.
Hi, George. My name is Bill.
Hi, Joe.
Bill. First, I wanted to thank you for your contribution to Star Trek, and wanted to say we're an amazing Sulu, and I don't know who could have done it better, so I want to thank you.
The only one that became a captain from the original cast.
But also, I'm also a fan, a follower of your Twitter page, and I want to thank you for your advocacy of human rights and civil rights, but specifically gay rights. And it's fitting that I get to be with you here today because I'm celebrating my 7-year wedding anniversary to my husband.
Stand up, for 7 years.
Well, we've been together.
My Brad's backstage. We've been together for 35 years.
Happy anniversary, by the way.
I don't know if you can introduce him. We'd love to see him, but I didn't know if you could talk about your Twitter page, or if you manage that yourself, if you have time to, or does somebody help you? But I follow it, and I love everything that you post, and just thank you for what you do.
Well, thank you for your support on that count as well. Yes, I do have a team called Team Takei, and because I wouldn't be able to do conventions and write books and produce Broadway musicals if I didn't have help. And I had help for the Broadway musical, and I had help in my writing. Brad is my right hand. He's the one. Are you here, Brad, backstage? Come on out.
Woo!
We have something to celebrate. And again, there's that Star Trek element coming in. Star Trek, created by Gene Roddenberry, and it was really his vision, his optimism about our world and the potential future. He said he thought that television was being wasted back in the 60s because there was so much turbulence going on, so much drama that lent itself for storytelling, and it wasn't being dealt with at all. Just crazy quiz shows, comedy sitcoms, cops and robbers, cowboys and Indians, and he felt that that story that's happening in America could be dramatized and used on television with a little imagination. And he came up with the idea of using metaphors and putting metaphors in the future. And he thought, this is Spaceship Earth. Why don't we have a spaceship in the 23rd century? And the reason why it can be so strong, so smart, so successful is because to bring unity out of that diverse Spaceship Earth, somebody from North America, somebody from Africa, somebody from Europe, somebody from Asia, all working together as a team and working in concert. Diversity was a thing that he thought was the strength of this continent, this planet. And by putting it in the future, we could do amazing things. And so that's how Star Trek was born. The captain of the starship was a North American, not an American. He was a Canadian. He was a captain of the starship. The engineer was from Europe, a Scotsman. The communications chief was from Africa, and a woman. That's part of that diversity too. And in those days, they didn't think women contributed to the leadership. and the vast area of this planet called Asia. And his dilemma was, Asia is a huge place, and he wanted this character to represent all of Asia. But his problem was with the name of the character. Every Asian surname is nationally specific. Tanaka is Japanese, Wang is Chinese, Kim is Korean. And 20th century Asia was turbulent with warfare and colonization and rebellion. And he didn't want to suggest that. He wanted a name that suggested all of Asia. And he had a map of Asia pinned on his wall in his office. And he was staring at it one afternoon, and he saw off the coast of the Philippines the Sulu Sea. And he thought, the waters of the sea touch all shores. And so that's how he came up with the name Sulu. And that's how deeply he thought about the details of this starship. And so he created that ship. We had a maxim, an acronym, IDIC, I-D-I-C, infinite diversity in infinite combinations. That's the strength of the starship, Star Trek. But at a private moment, at a party at his house, I said to him, and I was closeted because no gay actor would be hired in Hollywood at that time. I remember as a teenager, my heartthrob was this good-looking blonde movie star named, most of you may not recognize the name, Tab Hunter. Yes, my generation recognizes that name. He was starring in every movie that came from Warner Brothers, Damn Yankees, Battle Cry, others. But when one of the scandal sheets exposed him as being gay, he suddenly disappeared. No more Tab Hunter. They dropped his contract, and he was vilified. I learned from that. I was an aspiring young actor, and I knew that I could not be out and expect to be working in Hollywood. And so I was closeted for all those many years. And I was an activist on other causes, the civil rights movement, the peace movement during the Vietnam War. I was a political activist. I was volunteering in almost every electoral campaign, and still silent on the issue of gay rights, gay liberation, because I was protecting my acting career. And those young guys and gals who were activists on the gay issue were sacrificing everything on my personal issue. They lost their jobs, they lost their careers, some lost their families. And it really tortured me that people were sacrificing so much on an issue that was so deeply personal to me. And so I participated with my checkbook. I donated money to gay causes, but I was silent on the issue. And so we were missing that one part of diversity coming in, because I mentioned it to Gene Roddenberry, and Gene said yes. I mean, I told him, I had that conversation with him as a liberal, and he said, yes, I'm aware of that issue, but I'm walking a tightrope. The show is very low rated, and I can't deal with the issues that I am dealing with if I went that far. Because with that one episode where we had a black and white kiss, Captain Kirk Kisses Uhura. That was the lowest rated episode of them all because of stations in the South, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia didn't air it. So the ratings plummeted. And so if I'm walking this tightrope, and if I do deal with the gay issue, the show would be canceled. And sure enough, even without dealing with that issue, we were canceled after the third season. So that was a lesson to me, that you could go just so far, and you couldn't. Back in the 60s, I wanted to respond to your comments with the diversity issue, and I have a tendency to ramble.
Thank you. I'll let somebody else.
Yes.
Thank you.
I hope I can address it.